Welcome back. Well, Western Cape firefighters are gearing up for wildfire season. It's estimated over 14,000 fires were recorded in the province between 2018 and March of 2019. Now, volunteer firefighters become crucial at this time of year. Let's discuss this further now with founder of the Overberg Wildfire Volunteers, Bernardus Groenewald, who joins us from our studios in Cape Town. Thanks very much for your time, Mr. Groenewald. I mean, it's an incredibly dangerous job, made even more incredible by those who volunteer their time and their skills at great personal risk.
Yeah, that is true. It is, the time that we spend on fires, and time away from your family is just, it's overwhelming sometimes. And getting tired on the fire line makes it even harder thinking back to your families at home. It's quite difficult sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us more about what your organization does.
Michelle, our organization started a couple of years ago, I think about 3 seasons ago, where we had that serious veld fire in the Vermont Honors area, and it just escalated from there, where the whole mountain was on fire. It was one of the biggest fires that I've ever seen in our area growing up in Hermanus myself. And we only moved into our new premises in Fisher Haven about a couple of months earlier, and 2 days later the fire just was around our house, and I realized that if we don't do something now, that our house is going to be engulfed by flames and stuff. So that evening, my son and my stepdaughter, we just grabbed a couple of fire beaters, and we weren't even rigged to do any wildland firefighting or anything. And we just went into the brush wildly like crazy people, like you do when you don't know what you're doing. And that is where I decided after that fire that resources in the Overberg district and even in our municipality area, we are so restricted and we need to do something. So I registered our company as a MPC, a non-profit company, on Section 21. So we are open for funding and everything. And we started very small. We were like 5 people in our little crew, not even a crew or a stick or whatever the guys are calling it these days, and the terminologies are still fresh to us because we are so young, but we have the passion to do what needs to be done. At the moment, our crew grew in the past 2 years or 2 fire seasons. We're about 20 fully skilled members. We've got ICS Command, Incident Commander, ICS 300. We've got ICS 200, some of the crew members. We've got years and years of experience in one of our members that's been in the firefighting business for over 40 years. And, for a youngster like myself, only five seasons basically before we got registered, we learned so much from these skilled crew members that it's just amazing how we grew in such a short time.
Mr. Groenewald, I mean, just reading up on some of the issues around fighting wildfires, I'm seeing here that volunteer firefighters can stay on the front line for up to 24 hours. We know all of the dangers that are associated with the work that you do. And generally how it works is that we'll be in the middle of fighting a wildfire, and that's when there are calls for support, for donations of water, of sunblock and so on. But this time around, I understand you're trying to get ahead of that and to raise funds before the season actually begins.
That's correct, Michelle. If I take the previous fire season, because we are volunteers and our organization, Overberg Wildfire Volunteers, is so small, most of the funds that we've got, it was really generous donations. Last year on a fire line, one of our skid units, the clutch broke, and we had to ravel around for funds to fix the clutch. And most of the time, the members use their private vehicles. Myself, for instance, I use my private vehicle to fight fires. It is the first responder vehicle, but still, it needs fund. We need funding, to be honest. And it is hard. People sometimes just don't recognize you. They don't see you as a valid a wildland firefighter or even a volunteer. We get pushed away from fires where we can, with our small crew, make a difference. If I take an example from yesterday, we had a small fire in the Overstrand. You know, the resources are there, but they come from either Gansbaai or Claymont with big trucks to come and assist. And we were right there around the corner in Fisher Haven, and myself and another crew member went, and we assisted the Overstrand municipality, the fire department on the small fire. But when we got to the fire, it's just like, you know, the camaraderie is there. They know about us, and the guys smile, and we tackle this fire like, you know, like friends and camaraderie, and it's just there. So yeah, funds. I'm making a plea to the public, and that is where our funding comes from. We solely rely on public donations and funding. Yeah, and to raise money in this day and age is, yes, it is crazy.
No, absolutely, and this is certainly the right platform for you to do that. So there is the plea out to the public. If you'd like to support the work, the very important work that they do, you can get in touch with Overberg Wildfire Volunteers. Any donations will be welcome there, and that was the founder of that organization, Bernardus Groenewald, joining us from our Cape Town studios.